just like we said on Friday, so many matches, the World Cup. And I have to say kudos, Team Africa representing.
It was almost perfect. If not for Cote d'Ivoire. It was almost perfect. We were this close to having an almost perfect. I already removed Tunisia from our list. I told you, as far as I'm concerned, there are 8 countries representing Africa. So the 2 that are not representing, whatever, so we can leave those ones. But amongst the 8, just 1, Ivory Coast. I know that it's a major talking point. We'll be talking about some of the circumstances in that game.
Yes.
And how it affects a lot of African teams. We'll be talking about that in a second. But like you were saying, big ups to African teams. Congratulations, Team Africa. Morocco, 3 points. We just watched Egypt, 3 points. The big shocker, Cape Verde. We predicted 3-0 Uruguay on Friday, but they held their own. They scored first, conceded, it was equalized. They came back. We'll be showing the highlights right now. So for me, I just felt happy. It was a good comeback from Saturday's games where Cote d'Ivoire just threw it away. So good one there. I think the Ivorians will still go through because I believe they will beat Curaçao and make it to the next round. So
I'm sure they will beat Curaçao. Let's go and ask Ecuador.
Ivory Coast beat Ecuador.
It does. You see, this World Cup.
I know that football is not mass.
Yes, but the World Cup, strangest things have happened. We have thought that Ecuador will have 26 shots and will have 15 saves from the Curaçao goalkeeper. I think his name is Room.
Yes.
He made no room.
Zero room.
Zero room for any goals to be scored. So, and it's the World Cup. You don't know Curaçao. Curaçao is looking at half 1 point. Who says I can't go again? And if I win,
with what?
But we've seen now because how sloppy they are.
They will not be sloppy in Jesus' name.
They won't be sloppy, but again, Curaçao too might use Jesus' name. You saw them after the game against Ecuador on the pitch, and that's one thing I will talk about much later. Showing their faith again in praying, to our Lord Jesus. In the middle of the pitch after the game, giving thanks that for their first draw. The first one was, scoring their first goal and participating in the World Cup. This one was their first point at the World Cup. But again, let me start with your Blue Sharks. They can go home now and it will have been...
Fairy tale continues.
It's not over.
It's not over. It's not over.
When this draw was made, they are so... You just think that, maybe they were supposed to be the Whipping Boys, First appearance at the World Cup, even if it's an African team, Cape Verde, so bottom of the table. So I don't think anybody gave them a chance.
No.
They just say, just go and appear and come back home. But they've met 2 giants, 2 World Cup champions in Spain and now Uruguay. Uruguay are 2 times champions. I know people might say one was in 1930, that one I think it was 1950. It's been a while. But they are still, look at the club sides, the players from Uruguay are playing. You can't even compare it to where Cape Verde, but they've come with that determination, that spirit, African spirit, to come there and get something out of it. It's a memory World Cup for them. No matter how it ends for them, it's victory and it's something they can go back and be proud of. That they've come to this World Cup, they've not lost a game, and I doubt they will lose the game in this. Preliminaries. If they draw that game, that 3 points will be enough for them to take them. But you just have to be proud of this thing.
I think it can be enough to take them at this rate. I think it can be enough to take them. We'll be analysing the group standings in a bit because right now Uruguay have just 1 point or 2 points.
Uruguay has 2 points.
2 points, just like Cape Verde. So anything can happen. But Uruguay meets Spain. That's the good part. Uruguay meets Spain. And now you can, if you were watching the match yesterday or early hours of this morning, you will understand the frustration in the Uruguayans. Their fans, their players, everybody frustrated. You could see them visibly frustrated when they couldn't convert to the 3rd goal because they already knew what was at stake. They knew what was at stake. They know it's Spain. This was their match. This was supposed to be their easy match, the walkover, where they would win and at least have 4 points, just like Spain. Bearing in mind that Spain destroyed Saudi Arabia earlier.
I don't see Saudi Arabia beating Cape Verde.
Exactly. So, what if Cape Verde goes ahead and wins Saudi Arabia, 5 points. Ooh. They're second on the table. Uruguay now know that their work is cut out for them. It's cut out for them. While you were talking about what the Cape Verdeans have done, the table rankings, the FIFA rankings just played in my head. And I'm just thinking, Spain is, I think, number 2 or number 3.
No, they're 3.
They're number 3.
Yes.
Who is 2?
France.
Spain, world number 3. Uruguay, world number 16.
Yes.
Cape Verde, world number 64. Out of the top 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. They're world number 64, and there they are. They've held number 2 and number 16. So who says they can't go ahead and go all the way? You know, in the Spain game, they had barely any shot on target.
Yes.
So that was my concern. Like, hey, are you planning to defend throughout this World Cup? But they've shown us that, you know what? We don't only defend, we can score. And we can score in dramatic fashion as well. I mean, not everybody... It looked like a one-chance goal because some people were like, this thing reeks of match fixing and all that. You bury it now. We've seen careless chances given. Adingra had a clutch. You score your own. So when people say things like, it was fake, the keeper did this, that someone made a mistake doesn't mean you will convert. So shout out to the guy who scored. And you could see how and what it meant to him, how he celebrated it. And I didn't give them a chance. As soon as Uruguay went 2 up, I was about to ping you or text you and say, there we go again, 3-1. And our prediction, they're going to score 3 just like we said and all that. So shout out to them. They've proven that not only can they defend, I'll talk about their defending when we come back from the break after we see the highlights. But they can also go ahead and score. Brilliant 2 goals.
And again, you have to look at this Cape Verdeans again. You look at their character when they were down, when it was 2-1.
Yes.
Character of coming back.
Yes.
You know, some teams would have said, giving up to say, you know what, I'm just a small fish in this pond. You know what, I'm 2-1 down. We've tried, at least we scored 1 goal. They would have given up and said, you know what, Uruguay is a big team and all. But they said, you know what, no way. We're going to fight till the end. And as much as we know that Uruguayans had the chance to win it, they too had chances to win it too. It would have gone either way. So even Cape Verdeans would have gone on to say, you know what, if some chances have gone in, it would have been 3-2. So good one for Africa. It has to be, for me, Cape Verdeans, even though it's just 2 draws, they just topped my list of African countries because the 2 teams they've played compared to the other African teams, what they've done. I'm not saying the other Africans have not done brilliantly, but I'm just saying that if you look at Cape Verde, the teams, like you just read the ranking, 16th and now world number 3. And it is a big one. And we saw Egypt there. Even though for me, I feel that the Egyptians have gotten to a stage where you'll be beating teams from Oceania. I don't think any team from Oceania should be beating, you know, a top-ranked team like Egypt.
Are they that top-ranked? Who is even higher on the rankings, Egypt or New Zealand? You'll be shocked to find out who is ahead of who.
Yeah, I get you, but having won 7 titles on the continent.
When last did they win 7? When last did they win this? When did they win the 7th?
They have Mamouche, they have Mo Salah.
So for me, I'm just happy that finally the North Africans are finally, apart from you know who, the others have gotten the memo and have started to act their roles. They've started to act their roles. So I'm happy that we're seeing a strong Egyptian performance. For a long time, Salah has come under a lot of criticism that with all his brilliant performances in Europe, it's only in Europe. When he gets to the Egyptian national team, you don't see him. Egypt has not won the AFCON in how many years? And that's one big thing he would regret, especially as his career starts to wind down. Now, even in the World Cup, he hasn't had a World Cup. I think this is his first World Cup goal. So he's not had a great World Cup experience. But I mean, 2026, the World Cup that was touted to be the worst is shaping up to be one of the best World Cups ever in both participation. One thing that caught my attention, I must mention Coach Dixon over the weekend. People watch for different reasons. I was one of those people that was skeptical about the crowds, the fans, the spectators, the audience in the stadium, in the different stadia. So I thought to myself, people had predicted that the stadiums would be empty. You will see empty seats, yada, yada, yada. But boy, have they shocked the world. They have shocked the world to silence. All the critics of Infantino, of Donald Trump, President Trump, of the World Cup preparations, they've been silenced. I guess the average attendance this World Cup, guess.
45?
63,000.
Okay, so, another school of thought, I agree with you. And I saw Cape Verdeans.
By that, I'm not saying that I support the dynamic pricing that was used for the ticketing and all that, because it was just borderline extortion in many cases. But I mean, you're in the US, capitalist environment, well, it is what they do. But with the kind of noise and ruckus that was made just weeks going into the World Cup, you would have thought the stand to be empty. There was a particular game that was played over between Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure which of the days now. It was not a host country playing. 83,000 in attendance. Okay. 83,000. And I'm asking myself, where are all the critics?
Yes, and over the weekend, someone also brought this up. And there are also school of thoughts that have shared and said, you know what, maybe it was the noise that have made some things a little easier. In the sense that if you look at the Cape Verdeans yesterday when they took on Uruguay, we saw the goalkeeper's mother.
Yes, his mom, who was initially refused a
visa. So what happened? The noise was everywhere on social media, on TV, and everything. Suddenly there was visa for her to come into the United States. So maybe that noise have also helped. We saw a lot of Cape Verdeans. Unlike the first game against Spain, there were few Cape Verdeans in the stadium. But this time around, we saw more. Maybe the noise have helped. Maybe just maybe. Maybe the noise have helped too. But again, massive crowds.
Absolutely.
And the good thing is that if you look at from Canada, especially in the United States, the capacity, you see capacity 90,000,
100,000 capacity. They just have massive, everything in the US is just massive, loud.
Yes, so very huge. So just imagine that when it gets to the knockout stage, I think it will be massive. And let's not also forget that, especially the South Americans, they live close to the States. So the journey
travel is not too bad.
Travel is not too bad. It's shorter, and they get most of the crowds, filled up. So good one. And also with how are the American? In America, you have you have every community. You have the Egyptian community. You have the Latino community. Every community is there, so it's represented. And you saw, especially when South Africa was to play, I saw a lot of people wearing the South African jersey into the stadium when the match was about to start. Only for people, oh, you know what? We have white South Africans too. They are all over in America, and they came to cheer their team. So I'm happy that the attendance was concerned. I was concerned about it.
Yes.
But we can throw that into the dustbin now.
Yeah.
And why people were thinking about that, because they're also using the World Club Cup competition that happened, where we saw some less spectators coming to watch the games. But I think this time around, it's the World Cup.
Almost all games, if not all games, have been packed out full. And big ups to everyone who's made that happen. Anyways, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back from the break, however, the phone lines will be open. We want to hear your take. Which team impressed you so far? Some teams have played 2 games in a row, have played their first 2 games. Some teams have qualified for the next round, just like the two of the 3 hosts have qualified. US has qualified, Mexico have qualified. So which team has impressed you the most? I still think those 2 teams are not going fast still. But so far, crowd power has taken them.
Depending on the TV station you watch or where you are watching, if you have United States pundits,
come on, it's like
all of them, they are saying they are going all the way.
All the way.
Pochettino effect.
You see the Pochettino effect? Why was he not there to help them in some of the games that they lost woefully? No, I don't think it's the Pochettino effect. I think it's the home ground effect. But also with the fact that you've not met any A-class team. You've not even met any B-class team, to be frank. Can the US beat their chest and say they'll beat Senegal?
Nah.
So, I mean, you've not met, that's a B-rate team. Let's not even talk of A-rate teams like Morocco. You say I'm using African countries as my A and B rate. I don't even want to use the Europeans because we have both A and B-rate teams.
Senegal is B-rate?
Yeah, B-rate, yeah. Anybody lower than top 10 is B-rate for me.
Second? Second in Africa?
Yeah, but what are they?
Super Eagles third?
Super Eagles B-rate team.
24th in the world?
B-rate team. B-rate team. Super Eagles, sometimes the ranking doesn't even affect them. They may just beat you even if you're close to what. So I don't. That's why I put them as a B-rate team because they've always been way up there in Africa's top 5. So B-rate team, but A-rate teams, Morocco, and the top 10, the rest of them in the top 10 A-rate teams. So when the US meet those kind of teams, then you know World Cup has started. For now, you're still meeting your mates or your juniors, so it's okay to beat them. Anyways, we're going to go on a quick break right now. Like I said, when we come back from the break, the numbers will be on the screen. We'll be taking your thoughts. Which team has impressed you the most? Which team are you rooting for? Are you rooting for Team Africa? I'll read a comment from the Prime Sports group on King's Chat from Dickin Sam Fix It. When we come back, we're going to go on a quick break. During the break, we'll show you the highlights of that interesting, fantastic thriller between Uruguay and Cape Verde. Don't go anywhere. Prime Sports, we'll be right back.
Yeah.